We are at the 2018 Auto Expo and at the Maruti stall with their showstopper, the Future S, a concept SUV, if you please. And talking to me about it is the head of engineering of Maruti, Mr. C V Raman. Raman, thanks for taking us for a walk around. A new design language and clearly an intent from Maruti to say that yes, we are going without any doubt into the SUV space, even at the budget end. Just walk us through the philosophy of the Future S.
We've seen that the SUV segment is a growing segment, both in India and Europe as well as US. And we believe that this is going to be the future growth market in the next 5 to 7 years. Having said that, we have established ourselves in the compact SUV segment through the Vitara Brezza and on the higher level with the S-Cross, but we wanted to also look at how do you make a SUV-ish kind of vehicle, because traditionally, customers like SUV-ish taste, but it is not essentially a off-roader capability which they are looking at.
So is the styling very
So
critical?
it's a styling is what they are looking for. They are looking for things like high seating, good visibility, and upright hood. So these are things which are looking, and they look at clads which are there. So that gives them a feeling that okay, it's an aspirational thing. And today, as the customer is changing from, and today the young India, the average age is coming down, and they are looking for more aspirational kind of vehicles. SUV fulfills that aspiration somewhere, from compared to a hatch. So I think that was the key thing. And so let's say we said, brief given to the designers, go down below 4 meters, and how do we make a product, a good design, which is having a good design, proportions, layout, having features like upright seating and a high bonnet and a good ground clearance.
Right.
And package it, have good interior space also.
But, to put it very honestly, do you think the Kwid gave Maruti a wake-up call? Let's be honest, the Kwid was a game changer. It broke the mold in that space. And I'm sure the initial success or even the current success has rattled Maruti's dominance in a sector where it has ruled. So do you think it's a statement, what it shows is that a car with strong styling can really even, let's say from a manufacturer that's been here only 5 years, can have a huge appeal as well?
We have, it's not just through competition, but we know for sure from our own customers and from our research that today's customers are very, clear that they need good design. So design, technology, performance and experience of the product are some of the things that they would not like to compromise on, especially the younger customers.
Right.
So design, as far as design is concerned, from the last 2 to 3 years, you see the kind of products which Maruti has brought. Right. Design has been one of the high points of all these products, be it the Dzire, now today's Swift, or the S-Cross, or the Baleno, or the Vitara Brezza. Right. So these have all been going a different level, and so that's something which we believe in. Now, similarly, we believe that in the lower segment also, if you go below the 4 meter, how can we make that product more aspirational? So that was the main thing. It is not driven out of Kwid or any other competition. Right. It is our own desire to improve our design and to make it more aspirational for the customer.
Right. Let's take a walk around the car and the design. Now, Raman, this is very much a traditional SUV, which is a very vertical A-pillar. It's very upright proportions. So, I mean, this seems, obviously, I don't think this is going to come into production, but this is more a statement of intent that you are making something which has got very high, let's say a high stance, yes. Almost vertical. Yes. You have got a swooping roof as well. But just run us through the design philosophy of the vertical A-pillar, the high bonnet, and the overall packaging.
Layout of the vehicle, the first is that it's a high seating. Right. So when you are having a high seating and you want to have a good visibility, one of the key things which you need to do is you have to have a A-pillar which is very, very, right. Confident, also very, very upright. So
And
that
you've
gives that.
accentuated it
And
with
and
these,
so what
finishes.
has happened is that the designers have been given a free hand that okay, don't have any engineering constraint on this, so please go ahead and explore.
Right.
So they have gone into a little totally different way. Usually a pillar will go like this, but they have gone the other way
Right.
to make it make a style statement that yes, this is also a possibility which is there. So from upright pillar moving and going down to the sill, so that's the kind of a wraparound kind of a image in a different form in both the directions. So it is a wraparound on this direction and it's a wraparound on this direction too.
Right.
So that's the kind of intent which has been created by the designers.
Right. And of course, a very high bonnet, which again is very essential
Yes,
for an SUV form.
absolutely, because when you are having a high seating, one would like to see the road and as a good visibility, but also have from a visual appeal point of view, a high hood line, but also from when you're seated inside, you also have to have a good presence and you are wanting to see the hood line. So from that perspective, it gives a good visibility. So
Right.
therefore, the upright hood line is something which customers today want and
Very aspirational.
very aspirational, and it was borne out through the Vitara Brezza also when we did the research.
And on the flip side, to be honest, the S-Cross earlier one had a very drooping bonnet.
Yes.
And I think it wasn't very appealing at all. And I'm sure that feedback must have come through.
There was a feedback, obviously, and we respect the feedback of the customer. We did a change in quick time, and we have made a change on the all-new S-Cross, which you see. And today, just for the for the viewers, I would like to say that the S-Cross has increased the volumes
Right.
from the earlier volumes, and now there is a waiting today actually
Right.
on the S-Cross because its acceptability is improved.
So that leads me to one key question. Traditional SUV versus crossover. I think clearly for you what's proven is SUV. Looking at Vitara Brezza sales, Ignis, okay, it's there, but a little too funky, I think. Again, crossover-ish. Yes, okay, you said S-Cross is improved, but again, not the volumes Maruti is used to. So just to ask you, SUV, crossover. SUV is a safe bet?
Well, definitely the Indian market is maturing, and so from the current perspective, when we see the high hood line is an important thing, the upright seating is an important thing, and even the upright A pillar is something. The minute you start inclining that, and it becomes a crossover, and it becomes a very different kind of a vehicle. The current customer, I think maybe in a future, maybe that maturity may happen, it may change. But today, a lot of the vehicles which today are four-wheel drive or having that kind of capability in Europe are mostly on the crossover.
It's a more evolved market over
It's an
there.
evolved market, so there's acceptances there. But here, I think people like to have in the kind of road conditions and the way we
I
drive.
think this has more road presence
It has a
also.
more road presence. So he looks at it and say, hey, this is my car and this is very different, and it's a very strong and sturdy looking vehicle. So
Right.
that's something which is very important for the customer.
I also want to talk a little bit on powertrain. Obviously, with this, Sense One gets it will have a compact petrol engine, maybe the K series, because clearly this is, in your the platform. I would imagine is somewhere between an A platform kind of you use on this. Looking at the dimensions, possibly no diesel for this, some form of hybridization. Is that a fair assumption?
Well, definitely, I think from somewhere near a platform is what we are, looking at also. We have a large portfolio, as you know, and we need to ensure that we have a space for this kind of a vehicle, provided we get a good acceptance from yourselves, people like yourselves in the media, as well as from the customers at large. So if that is so, then if and when we go into production, there is going to be a debate on this, on the size also, on what kind of platform it is going to be there. More nearing towards the A platform size is what I guess. So if that is so, then the powertrain would be a K series engine, as you rightly pointed it out.
Right.
Diesel is something which, looking at the future, I don't see that coming in at the lower end of the compact segment, so to speak. Because with the BS6, the costs are going to go much higher, and the diesel penetration is going to come down a bit.
But would you be forced to go for hybridization even on these sort of cars just to meet the CAFE norms? Because price will go up, but if you have to meet regulations, you'll have to adopt a technology which might even be costly.
See, next level of cafe norms are going to come in 2022. It is going to be definitely, no, it's 113 grams. 113 grams. So, but every maker will have his own target. This I am talking 113 is the corporate average, all companies put together. So obviously there is going to be a improvement which is demanded from the regulation perspective, and therefore we need to move towards vehicles which are going to be more fuel efficient and have a little bit more of some electrification. A way forward which we see is that hybrid technology is going to be there. So in the form of mild hybrid and maybe a strong hybrid going forward, we have showcased a technology demonstration of the strong hybrid, which you see at the back. There is going to be electrification in the fleet. The pace, which is something which I am not able to tell at this point of forecast at this point of time, but definitely it's a direction which is going to happen.
Right. Well, Raman, thanks. Always a pleasure talking for you, and thanks for giving us an insight. And wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.